strong! I can't stand losing.
Giant weasel thief! Is there a great towing weasel thief or something?
We call it a furnace shell mountain weasel. It's very aggressive, so be careful. Why me? Heads up! Yeah! Volcano kablam!
A bunch of seeing eyes, and this thing the weasel used to spew out fire!
I think that's its back armor. It shoots out phlogiston, so it can pretty much attack from all directions. My dad told me about them once. Creatures that this piece of armor might produce even higher temperatures than the seeing eyes. We'll get those mushrooms super— Oh, well, even though I don't like fighting, sometimes you don't have a choice. For example, I've read a lot of stories about heroes. Viatenna's most iconic feature was her mask. So I decided to make one just like hers. So now, whenever I wear the mask, it's like there's a little piece of her. At the same time, though, I guess it's kind of like a crutch.
Oh, you really think so?
Really? I feel like I need to but the longer I put off taking that step, the more impossible it feels. I don't know.
Yeah! You had the courage to make that decision. And that's what adventuring is all about!
Oh.
Yeah! You had the courage to make that decision. And that's what adventuring is all about! Fighting is just a small part of it.
Oh.
Besides, Paimon thinks you're doing a great job. Just take your time. It's not a race.
Thanks for— And I won't give up. After that pep talk, I feel like my appetite is back in full force.
You're hungry already?
Come on, let's head back to the tribe. We'll earn that mushroom.
And we found a bunch of stuff to use!
Great! We're almost done with the prep. I've managed to get these iron chunks red hot. We should be good to go.
Yeah, and since we need really high temperatures,
And I got a bunch of buckets of lava on standby if we need more fuel.
Yeah, but the things we brought aren't your typical cooking utensils,
Well, that mushroom started it, right?
Yeah, we'll see what sort of excuses it can come up with this time.
Thanks for the help, everyone. It really means a lot.
All right, let's see what we have here. Huh? The armor of a furnace shell mountain weasel? Don't tell me you went into the bulb.
No, it erupted out of nowhere, and then the weasel appeared, and then, well, anyway.
Either way, this is something special. Back when I was training to be a chef, this kind of armor produces intense localized heat. It's great for fish because you can get a nice sear on one side without over— Anyway, let's get started.
All right.
Whoa, the fragrance is so much more intense! And what's with this weird mist? Wait, no, something's not right. Where are we?
I have no idea.
Huh? Is something wrong?
That's a cuddle.
What? I know it's hard to see through this mist, but no.
Because you are the only worthy devotees, of course.
Evil jerk of a mushroom, so this is what you look like.
He does look a bit more evil than the other mushrooms we met.
I am no longer concerned with your insolence. On the contrary, I am sad, of course.
The only way.
Now, don't be hasty. It's inadvisable to speak in absolute. Cherish this opportunity. As you know, Tivat is not a peaceful place. The gods wage war against one another. Monsters roam, but then...
If we want to become strong,
Woohoo! Those monsters are no match.
And so, the humans worshipped me as their savior.
You really expect us to believe that? Besides, as far as enemies go, a few.
Such arrogance!
You wish.
I mean, those monsters really don't look that scary. Not the kind you'd need a miracle to defeat, anyway.
You insignificant mortals boast of strength?
all right.
Strike a pop!
Things are about to get dicey. Busted.
Ridiculous.
Headbutt! Huh. Yeah! Hi!
Well fought! You see? You ate a fair amount of my clones, and now look what you can do.
Huh. Weren't we insignificant?
I'll admit, you're not entirely useless.
No, don't just. Another cryptic. It's gotta be a mushroom thing at this point. Well, what should we do?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah!
Why me?
I soon became humanity's faith, and, with my power, created countless clones, with which I could bestow upon them an food is a scarce resource. A faith that provides, and as my subjects gave themselves in service, either as civilians or warriors, I rewarded them with mushrooms in proportion to their contribution. The most exceptional among them could receive as many. What are you insinuating?
Well, it's possible people couldn't afford to be picky back then.
Yeah, but now even Saurians have more options than that.
Sustenance and strength. Such are the pillars of faith. Once you become my subjects, all you have to do is build a civilization dedicated to the... What do you mean? What?
Right. If the humans dedicated themselves in service to you, then shouldn't you have your own tribe at this point? But I've read a lot of woven scrolls about the heroes of Natlan.
Of course not. I was in a different nation at the time. I don't suppose you know their history, too.
Yeah, and we didn't hear anything about a mushroom civilization.
I never said it was Sumeru. I have no idea where that assumption is coming from. A trivial detail. You know what? You don't deserve to...
Yeah, if you want us to respect you, stop being so secretive.
True. If we don't know how the story ends, it doesn't hold much weight now, does it?
All right, fine. Same if you fail to prove your worth. Good luck getting another detail out of me.
Oh,
He jumped down from here. So it looks like we just... Is something wrong, Traveler? Off?
that's how I feel too. Based on his personality, if he won't tell us how things turned out in the end, it must be because it's not something he can brag about. Besides, how did he even get from Sumeru to Natlan? Seems... And through it all, he still hasn't given up on recruiting us.
Yeah. He seemed pretty annoyed with our questions. Why not just kick us to the curb?
But why?
All right, sounds like a plan.
Ooh.
Catch me if you can! If you can figure out which way to go, of course.
Ugh.
Gotta steer clear of other people. Kapow! Whoop! Yeah! Headbutt! Running late again. Leave this to me. I'll clear a path for you. I think we can get these mushrooms to form a path. We just need to wait for the right timing.
Get a load of this!
Watch out, Marissa!
Don't worry about me. I've got this. Kapow!
A dead end?
Jump up. Let it give us a ride. All right, this should be good. Get ready and jump! Time to roll.
Backed into a corner, huh?
We've got you this time!
Ow! Well, that hurt, you know. You humans have such violent tendencies.
How did we lose him?
Not again. Although, I think I pulled something off of him.
A ball of mist. Oh no, it's spreading. Ah, they're gonna eat us. Gonna eat us. Eat us.
Ungrateful humans! Oh, at this rate, I won't have any clones left. The more my clones are consumed, the less... Why must the humans eat so much? My power is all but spent, but it was still enough to control a single human. Now all of Sumeru knows how scrumptious my mushrooms are. So if I want to grow, I must relocate. And if I want it to happen fast, I need suitable environmental conditions.
Yes, my lord.
Is this the place,
Yes. This is a volcano in a land far to the west. The temperatures here get very high. I shall now find a good place to plant you, my lord.
Yes. Huh? An earthquake? eruption!
So that's how it ended. No wonder he tried to hide it from us. It's pretty embarrassing.
I thought he said people formed communities around this mushroom and used it as their main source of food.
Yeah, but it looks like his following got too big and...
Huh. He used the mushrooms as his main recruitment tactic. But then the
Which means the more mushrooms the humans ate, the less power...
Wow. So his following didn't last long.
Nope. Which explains why there aren't any records about some kind of mushroom civilization. In the end, he mind-controlled a human to bring him to Natlan and then got buried under a pile of volcanic rock.
Yeah. When we were talking to him earlier, he seemed kind of, out of...
Well, he has been living under a rock, so... But clearing out this area for your orchard finally allowed him to start regaining his power. Well, he has been living under a rock, so that checks out.
Yeah, that sounds right. My parents always thought it was so weird that mushrooms... Wait, but if everything we saw is true, that means this mushroom has mind control powers or something?
Hold on. Do you remember what he showed us? A group of humans worshipping it, but when he started running out of power...
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why he doesn't seem to be able to control us either.
Oh? Why?
All right, then let's find this mushroom.
Oh, the environment changed again. Nothing to face Paimon at this point.
Let's keep looking. He can't hide forever. All right. Shower me with...
Mind the side effects. Remember.
Here comes the catch. Quietly now. So you made it this far. Impressive. In that case...
Wait, he hid himself in the statue. What should we do? Actually, that checks out. We're just gonna smash it, right?
Cool.
Maximum power! That was a cheap shot. My strength is gone.
Busted.
All right. Oof. Time to roll. Letting brave names echo. Time to shine. Strike a pose.
Things are about to get dicey.
Time to roll.
We've got you this time, nasty mushroom. We know all your schemes.
We thought you were just a mushroom that happened to taste good. But
It would seem you're not completely devoid of intelligence. Fitting from... Did you think I was running away because I was scared? My scheme... Although I prefer to call myself the Sage Lord of... You now behold the god Bifrons! The soul, indeed, fool! You have no food, just one... No matter. My plan has... What you saw when... And that's where their true power... You see, considering... And you do...
So, you kept running away from us.
Precisely then.
You have no concept of time, do you? Newsflash, the Archon War is old news, but...
Nonsense! Is all I hear in this land is war then...
Pretty sure they're talking about the war against the Abyss.
Huh?
The Archon War? I guess I've heard about that once or twice, but only from Outlanders.
Ha! I see what's... You know, once nothing... Now, I was going to offer you a glimmer of hope by allowing you to pledge yourselves to me, but now, the deal is off. What did you say?
The Traveler explained everything. The only reason I could hear you is because I've eaten so many mushrooms over the years.
Yeah, and Paimon ate a whole bunch during the competition. Paimon's small, so it didn't take as many mushrooms for her to be affected. Point being, most people would have to eat a monstrous amount of mushrooms to even hear you over the buzz of a mosquito. So you latched onto us as a group of people who could actually hear your voice.
You said your mushrooms need time to grow, which means you don't have enough power to keep us here.
I may not have my former strength, because you definitely can't.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, if he was telling the truth, we need to get back to the tribe as soon as possible.
Oh, no! You must be bluffing! A few measly humans couldn't possibly be that powerful!
Paimon's not gonna waste one more word on this guy. Let's go!
What should we do?
Worried? Ha ha ha! Don't be. It's just a few mushrooms. A Tolly! Get ready to feast!
More, please!
Guess it's time to dig in!
Stop this at once! Huh?
What a great meal! Thanks, everyone! I feel like a whole new me.
And with that, we took care of all the green mushroom. Now, care to tell me what happened earlier? Someone planted a god in Varessa's orchard, and she's been eating it ever since.
Yeah, we know not every god that's still around is super strong, but this one reached a whole new low.
Also, didn't he have his facts all wrong? He kept going on about some kind of Archon War.
Ah, well, Natlan was never part of the Archon War, so it rarely comes up around these parts. It makes sense that you don't know much about it, Veressa.
Whoa, hold on. Are you serious?
Of course. The infighting between the dragons pretty much took over everything. So, there was no room for the gods to join in.
Yep, that checks out. Living under a rock all those years, Mushroom God wakes up, thinking it's still the Archon War, and tries to use that to convince people to worship him.
Little did he know, our lives are much better now than in the Age of the Dragons.
So what do we do now? It can't be easy to slay a god.
I guess it's back to business as usual. As long as we keep picking the green mushrooms, that god is just a tasty mushroom at the end of the day. Actually, Traveler? Can I borrow you for a minute? Alright, here's good. So, it's not anything super important. I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your encouragement gave me the courage to investigate the green mushrooms and helped me resolve a threat to my tribe. And maybe this sounds weird considering everything, but it was a really awesome adventure. I had fun. Oh, why's that? You're right. I never thought my appetite would save the day. It's pretty surreal. But it's like you said. All it takes is a little patience and perseverance, and my time will come. If I start to doubt myself in the future, all I need to do is think of this experience and everything I've learned along the way.
Hey, you two! Akata was saying that since a scholar from Sumeru warned the tribe about the mushrooms, someone there must know about the mushroom god. Should we go check it out? Couldn't hurt to get more information.
Oh, good point. But if we're heading to the academia...
Right. And it's not a quick trip. We have to cross the whole desert.
Good idea. Let's check it out.
Oh, Catherine's back! And isn't that Tainari?
Word from the speaker's chamber was that an Emerta scholar happened to be conducting research in the area. So they helped me to get in touch.
Yep, you're an expert, so you must know all about him, right?
Yeah, the mushrooms started popping up in our orchard not too long ago. Of course, you're welcome anytime. That's a huge help, actually. I wanted to ask, though, you said what remains of his clones? Does that mean there are clones outside of Natlan? Even now?
Zamarin?
You know that name?
Yeah, Paimon calls it Sheesh Room. It's absolutely huge! Way more impressive than the puny Sage Lord. We should go see Zamarin one of these days.
Ooh, I'll come. It'll be nice to interact with a friendly mushroom for once. I would never.